Hello, everyone. This is Varsha, and you are watching the series of success stories brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. So, as you all know, the series is all about the prominent achievers of our country who have made India proud in some way or the other. The main focus of our series is to make you all know about the success and achievements of our prominent guests. So, today, in the same sequence, we have with us Ms. Rashmi Dhariwal, who is the co founder and CEO of Setu. But before we actually start the conversation with her, let's quickly have a look at a very small video telling you about what we actually do.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
Hello, Ms. Rashmi, how are you?
Hi Varsha, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good too. Thank you so very much. All right. So, before we actually start the conversation, please tell us something about you and your profession.
Okay, like you already introduced, my name is Rashmi Dhariwal and I am the founder of Setu. So I am basically an engineer by qualification and I worked for 11 years in a corporate before starting Setu. Setu is a mission-based consortium. It is a social enterprise with the mission of empowering the social and economic standing of the underprivileged artisans. In Sanskrit, Setu means the bridge. So, as indicated from the name, Setu acts as a bridge between the underprivileged or marginalized artisans and the international markets. At the same time, working for the social, environmental, and economic well being of these communities. The main motto is to provide dignified livelihood opportunities. It also has a non-profit arm called Setu Society. The main aim of the society is to perform works of charity, implement social and economic welfare projects for the weaker sections of the society.
All right. So, Ms. Rashmi, how did you actually land up to the idea of starting with this Setu, as in this NGO segment?
I was working with a large corporate organization in Kota when I came in contact with an artisan community. This artisan community had a very beautiful expertise in hand weaving of fine fabrics with very intricate designs. But the lack of market and technology driven competition were taking a toll on these artisans. Along with their art, their spirits were also dying, and they were forcing their next generation to work as contract laborers at very cheap wages instead of taking up this craft. This made me realize that there was a lot more in life and I should try to make a difference in their lives. There had to be a bigger purpose of my being. And so I left my job and spent a lot of time with these artisans. I help them design modern and functional products and identify ways to reach the market. This gave the artisans a lot of self confidence and hope. At the same time, the entire experience helped me visualize a process which could be used to support many other artisans achieve economic sustainability and growth. So, subsequently, I developed a model of sustainable development through ethical trade practices, and thus Setu was founded.
Amazing. All right. So now, moving ahead, thinking of an idea and its execution are actually two very different things. So, what sort of challenges you have to face in your journey while moving ahead in it?
It has been a very long and tough journey of 15 years. So, other than the financial challenges, which are always a part of the startup, the major challenge was to gain the trust of these communities. When you want to bring about a change in the mindset of society, we need to generate acceptability. These communities have become so used to being exploited that they cannot visualize a life of dignity and self-reliance. And in addition to that, illiteracy and social taboos are rampant, making it very difficult to bring a change or impart any technical upgradations or trainings for their upliftment. For example, if we want to upgrade a process that is very hazardous for the health of the artisans, you will face a huge resistance because the same process has been used for ages. Similarly, it has been a great challenge to motivate the women to come out of their families and work and put their children through school. We cannot impose any thought process about anyone. It has to, be patiently and slowly achieved so that the shift in the mindset occurs. A lot of touring, personal interactions, patience, time, and with the pursuance, we have been able to overcome all these hindrances. Now we are really able to, create numerous impacts in different ways in the society.
Amazing, Miss Rashmi. All right. So now, what is the actual working model of Setu? If you can tell us about that, please.
The main motto of Setu is livelihood generation for the underprivileged, and that has to be achieved in a very dignified way. So, our model is basically based on the theory of trade and not aid. So, we focus on skill development, capacity building, providing infrastructure, trainings, and so on. And we not only build up livelihood, but we work for the holistic development of the communities. So we work for all the three pillars of sustainability, that is economic, social, and environment sustainability. So this is the basic model and the crux that we work.
All right. So now, moving ahead, Rashmi, you must be knowing about the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign, an initiative taken by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. So, what are your thoughts and views on this campaign, and also how is your organization working towards this?
Atmanirbhar Bharat means self-reliant or self-sustainable Indian masses, and that has to penetrate right till the grassroots level. And exactly that is the basic mission of Setu. Our main motto is to make them self-sustainable by providing livelihood opportunities. And we achieve these through skill development, capacity building, providing infrastructure, machinery, technology, and then market linkages. Unless you link with the market, all trainings and infrastructure does not have any meaning. So this is how we are doing our bit towards contributing to the Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Amazing. All right. So now, moving ahead, everyone do plans for their future. So, what are your further plans for Setu in the upcoming year?
Currently, Setu is spread in 16 states of India. We have artisan network in 16 states, but we ultimately plan to be associated with the needy artisan groups in every state of the country. And another one of our major future plans is to basically is to make every underprivileged woman artisan tech savvy by making them all computer literate. We have already initiated towards this project, and soon we hope to educate a lot more women towards computer literacy.
All right. So now you have been working for the women a lot. So how do you actually work for women empowerment? If you can tell us a bit about that, please.
In Indian society, mainly in the poor and illiterate communities, women are mostly oppressed and exploited by their own family members. And, due to the patriarchal structure, they learn to silently suffer and cry. For women empowerment, three things are very important: economic self reliance, awareness, and education. When women become self dependent economically, they are able to participate in the decision making of their families. They can decide whether their daughters can go to school or not. So it is very important to make the women aware, educate, and make them economically self dependent. And we achieve all these things by conducting skill upgradation workshops, training workshops. We also run a full-time training center where the women can come to learn and then work. Then we also provide them free of cost sewing machines. We conduct a lot of literacy classes where the women can learn how to read and write. And we are also conducting a lot of computer literacy classes. then we gear them up to become entrepreneurs, just not only providing them work, but convert them into entrepreneurs. Then we create self-help groups where the women can work together and learn from each other. We conduct a lot of awareness workshops on menstrual health and hygiene. We distribute a lot of sanitary napkins. There awareness workshops on women right, girl child education, anti-child labor, etc. And in the end, it comes to building up their self-confidence, and we create a lot of role models amongst the women, because when women see their fellow women, achieving something which they always just dream to, it is easier for them to fight their society and take a step outside their house.
Moving ahead, though I know it's always a very proud moment when we get recognitions for our work, but still, I would like to know from you personally that what are your feelings on winning this Indian Achievers Award?
It is, of course, a proud moment, Vasha. And I think when you get recognized for something you are anyways doing out of your passion, it still motivates you. This award really motivates me further to achieve higher benchmark and continue making the social impact in our Indian society.
And I once again congratulate you on the achievement, Ms. Rashmi. All right, so now moving ahead, so as we have discussed a lot about your professional role, so tell us a bit about the CSR activities too that you're involved in.
Vasha, it is not basically a CSR activity, it is the major activity. So, we are a social enterprise with a non-profit arm, and all our activities are based around the mission of achieving the social and economic upliftment of the society. So, we have been able to make a positive impact on the lives of thousands of artisans and their families, and not only in terms of livelihood generation, but on the social upliftment. So we have contributed to education of the masses by conducting 7 literacy centers, 4 computer literacy centers, conducting more than 25 health and eye camps, empowering women, running anti-child labor campaigns, and many more. We also focus on environment sustainability. All our products promote recycling. Our processes promote recycling. We implement a lot of water saving initiatives. We promote solar power in the processes of all the production, and we promote only natural and non toxic raw materials. So even during the COVID pandemic, we kept up the morale up of all our artisans, and we not only supported them monetarily, but we also helped a lot of needy people by distributing groceries and food packets to more than 22,000 people only during the pandemic. And even during pandemic, we continue our online trainings and workshops and keep them engaged in trade even during lockdowns, so that they do not lose the hope that this pandemic or what the future has in store for them.
It's something really very commendable. All right, so now moving ahead, as per you, what is the major difference between the Setu and the other NGOs which are present in the market?
Like I have told many times, Vasha, Setu's main motto is self-sustainability. And so Setu itself is a self-sustainable consortium. While most other NGOs are dependent on external grant or aid from government or external organization, Setu generates their own revenues and work with full passion and honesty on all the development projects. So we not only believe in skill trainings, we also ensure market linkages so that a continuous livelihood generation takes place.
All right. So now, before concluding our lovely session, what message or mantra you would like to give to our younger generation to become successful in their careers?
Younger generation is the torch bearer for us, and we are all dependent on them, to carry all the legacy forward and take our country to the next level. I would just say always follow your passion. Do not get bogged down by the social pressures and social, expectations. Youth has infinite capabilities. They just need to have faith in themselves. You must remember that when they follow something good with the full passion and righteousness, all hindrances disappear. You can always make a difference in this world. So always think of the larger good when taking up any profession. You can be in any stream, any field, but if you look around you and just set it in your mind, you can make a huge difference in the world around you.
Very well said, Miss Rashmi. All right, so thank you so very much for being with us today. It was pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors, and may you continue to inspire us the way you are doing. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Varsha, and thank you, Indian Achievers Forum, for providing a platform to people like us and keep on motivating and encouraging us by your efforts. Thank you.